Welcome back to episode 4 of Wisdom by Heart, where we take the most delightful, helpful and transformative wisdom quotes and get them into us so that they can be a real supply in our daily life. My name's Aliki and I've been making videos every week here on YouTube for a while now, so I encourage you to take a look around at all the playlists because you'll find some very useful stuff here to guide you on your spiritual and awakening journey and in your daily living. Today's quote is from the book Coming Home, written by Dr. Dicken and Natasha Swerdloff. Just for a moment, consider what it would be like if you realized not a single thought you had was true. Just for a moment, consider what it would be like if you realized not a single thought you had was true. Just for a moment. Put all your thoughts aside, all your problems, all your worries, all your anticipations, everything that you need to do today, etc., etc., etc. Put all those to one side, because we're going to focus on a moment, this moment. All we need is just one moment, and the best moment is the only one that actually exists, which is this present moment. Just for a moment. Imagine that time doesn't exist. Just for a moment, let there be no past, no future, nothing outside of this time that you and I are spending together, right here, right now. Bring yourself fully present, just for a moment. So what are we going to do in this precious moment that we're spending together? Well, we're going to consider what it would be like if you realized not a single thought you had was true. What have you been believing about yourself throughout your life? Most of us walk through life believing that we're a certain way and really not questioning it. And then some of us discover the power of our thinking mind and we set about working on our mindset and reframing our negative thoughts into positive ones. But this is all in a different realm from what I'm talking about here. Because we're not talking about manipulating the thoughts. In fact, we're not talking about the content of our thoughts at all, really. What we're discovering here through these words of wisdom is that ultimately our thoughts are based on a very shaky foundation. Just for a moment, right now, consider what it would be like if you realized, you want to realize, this is a deep spiritual realization, not an intellectual one. So we really need to be still for this kind of realization. If you realized, may we all realize that not a single thought you had was true. Now that might sound like a bit of a stretch, right? Because obviously some of our thoughts are true. You know, I think I'm a woman, and that's true, right? But what we're talking about here is our whole mind-created identity. Because over the years, we've been believing certain things. Things that our parents told us, things that we learned through our educational system, and then, of course, society itself. And all these messages have been coming in, usually without any kind of truth filter. And out of all this noise, we've created the idea of who we are. It's very easy for all our thoughts to revolve around this character of who you are, this role, this part that you're playing in the game of life. But in the deeper aspect, we are aware of all these things. And if you think about it logically, you can't be the thing that you're aware of, can you? Just for a moment, consider what it would be like if you realized not a single thought you had was true. Now, some of you may panic. You might think, well, if none of my thoughts are true, then who am I? We want an identity, don't we? We want definitions. We want things to hold on to. We want security. We want to be able to say, well, this is who I am. So when you start talking about thoughts not being true, there's a part of us that kind of wants to run away or not listen, because it can be scary. The entire foundation of your belief system can come crumbling down. And not everybody wants that. But if you're on this channel watching this video, I'm going to hazard a guess that you're a seeker of truth and you want to know yourself more deeply, and that you know that you're not your thoughts, or at least you have a good idea that things aren't as they always appear to be. You know, when you think about it, does it really make sense to give so much credence to these things we call thoughts? Doesn't it seem strange to you that we believe these temporary condensations of energy that appear in our awareness, and that we hold on to them as though they are gospel truth? I mean, our thoughts fluctuate so much, don't they? Thoughts are all over the place. Why do we give them so much attention? And we know how much stress and anxiety they cause us, right? You know, we laugh and joke about overthinking, and we all have so much to say about mental health and well-being. And yet we're still very wrapped up in the content of our thinking mind, trying to navigate it, trying to manipulate it, trying to analyze it. This is where we really need to zoom out. I talk about zooming out a lot. Zooming out from the snow globe experience of your mind and seeing the bigger picture, the higher picture, the deeper picture, and realizing that you're not your thoughts and they're really not worthy of your constant attention. Thought is this creative energy that we can use in a wise way, but what's happening is that we are being used by thought. Eckhart Tolle says that we walk around as though we're hypnotized and possessed by our thoughts. It's true, isn't it? But just for a moment, consider what it would be like if you realized that not a single thought you had was true. Here's where it gets really interesting, because if you let go of the investment you have in your thoughts, if you let go of believing that all your thoughts are true, then you can begin to experience a rather wonderful and profound freedom. I'm sure all of us have a thought, long-held belief that we're not good at something. So let's start with that one. Let's use the example of art. A lot of people believe they're not good at art. It could be sports, it could be languages, cooking, all sorts of things. I'm no good at that. Let's take that one. Now, just for a moment, consider what it would be like if that thought wasn't true. No, really. I want you to consider, seriously, just for a moment, what if you realized that that thought wasn't true? That doesn't mean you have to convince yourself that you are good at something that you don't believe you're good at. No. There's so many people doing stuff like that, and it's really not helpful. You know, when you realize what isn't true, it just falls away all by itself. It loses its grip, its power over you. What we're doing here is deprogramming. We're seeing through the conditioned mind and setting ourselves free, moment by moment, day by day, week by week. And these words of wisdom really help if we can take them in and see something deeply. So if this thought about you not being good at art, say for example, if that's not true, does that mean you're good at art? Well, not necessarily, right? You might find it very challenging drawing something. You may not find it comes naturally to express yourself on a piece of paper or with a paintbrush. But realizing that that thought isn't true transforms something within you. The energy of a closed heart and I can't do this changes. There's a relaxation in your being. There may be a newfound curiosity. You know, I don't know how long I'm going to be on this earth, and it might be that I actually want to have a go at doing that thing that I always thought I was no good at. Maybe this is a new door of possibility that's opening up to me here, and I can be curious and playful and explore different experiences, different activities, because actually it's not about whether I'm good at something or not. That's all just a concept anyway in the field of comparison. Do you see how the heart opens and your inner energy changes around this topic? And then your thoughts and your feelings follow suit. This is where possibilities and delight are found. In the recognition that your thoughts aren't necessarily true. So then you see, you start to question all the other beliefs that you've held to be true, including all the ways you're not good enough, all your failings, your shortcomings. And then your entire mind-created identity can dissolve in an instant with the realization that these thoughts aren't true. You know, truth is really that which never changes, deeper than our mind can fathom, and yet real. Truth is that which is real. And of course, if everything we've believed about ourselves isn't true, then how does that affect what we think and believe about everyone else and the world? There's a lot here, but the most important thing is to begin questioning your thoughts, to become more aware of them. Don't stay in the world of your mind. Don't stay trapped in the prison of your thoughts. Set yourself free, even just for a moment, by considering what it would be like if you realized not a single thought you had is true. Notice the virtual reality nature of your thoughts. They seem so real, and yet They're like a cloud or a mirage. They have no real substance to them. Always remember that you are not your thoughts. You may think you know this already, but if you look around, you'll see how many people are hypnotized by the voice in their head. Become aware of this in you. Allow each thought to come and go, and rest in the awareness that you are freeing yourself from your mind-made world of illusion. From now on, choose wisely which thoughts you believe to be true and what meaning you give them. Just for a moment, consider what it would be like if you realized not a single thought you had was true.